Hi. Today, within the doc web L'ALTRO SONO IO, we will have the pleasure of discovering as a special soul that populates our world. An artist whose music is without prejudice, speaks to everyone in the same way. Right now, she's live from Australia. So we say thank you after asking if today more than ever we need the connection with our past to find the path to our future. To the Australian pianist and composer Fiona Joy Hawkins. Hello Fiona, well found.
Thank you very much for having me. I think it's amazing with modern technology that we can do this. We can speak to each other from the other side of the world. So thank you.
Fiona, what is the most important thing in your life?
Wow, what is the most important thing? That's really hard. I feel like I should say something universal like world peace, but I think to me personally, family is so important. And to each and every one of us, happiness, because without happiness, you have nothing. You can be the richest person in the world and be miserable, or you can be the poorest person in the world and be happy. So happiness is probably the thing that we should aspire to the most.
Fiona, it's time to get into your musical soul in proposing your first song. In addition to making a small introduction, since the extrapolated audio of the video interview will also go on Radio Crisol in Chile and Radio Sputnik in Spain, make a dedication.
All of my ancestors are Celtic. So in 2020, I was really looking forward to going to Ireland and Scotland. Well, that wasn't possible because of COVID. So I got creative and I wrote Calling County Clare, and I made a video using footage from the beach in Port Macquarie, which is near where I live, and then some video footage that was sent, some drone images that was sent from a friend in Ireland. So I put this together so that I could kind of bridge that distance between where I am now and where I wanted to be. So I guess I would like to dedicate Calling County Clare to family and friends far away.
Fiona, can you live happily without asking yourself if you are happy?
That's a really interesting question. I think some people will be happy no matter what happens in their life. You can have two people and exactly the same things happen. One person sees the glass as half empty and the other person sees the glass as half full. So that person is going to be happy no matter what. And I think the pursuit of happiness is one of life's journeys. We need to find it. I think I said earlier that I think happiness is the most important thing, and it is. For my children, all I could ever hope for is that they would be happy. And if you're happy, you're productive, you're going to have a good life. So yeah, ask yourself, am I happy? And if you're not, find it, because it's in here. It has to be inside you, and you've got to find happiness.
Fiona, is it harder to realize a good idea or combines others that the idea to be realized is a good idea?
Sometimes I think I have some great ideas and I try and share them with other people, and I try and explain them to other people, and they just don't understand. So I think it's much harder to have other people realize and understand your good ideas, because in your head, when you flesh out that idea, you know exactly what it's going to sound like, exactly what it's going to look like, what's going to happen, but it's your vision. So sharing your vision, I guess there's a little bit of a trick to that. You have to be able to communicate well, to share something creative to somebody else without them being able to see the finished product. So yeah, it's much harder to share an idea than it is to actually have one come to you. A lot of my good ideas come to me at 2 or 3 in the morning, and they just pop into my head endlessly. So it's the realization of those good ideas that is by far the hardest, and certainly having other people invest their time and their belief in you based on your word and your vision. It's very hard. And when you have a creative career like being a musician, you have to have other people believe in you. Otherwise, they'll never invest in you. They'll never put time into your projects or invest in you going into the studio to make another album. So it's something that you earn along the way, that you prove that your ideas are good, and you prove that you actually know what you're doing, I guess. That's an interesting question.
Fiona, let's move on to the second musical moment. Always giving brief introductory notes and make a dedication.
I'm a conceptual writer, so I write music that comes to me from inspiration, whether it's a place that I've been to, an emotion, a feeling, something that's happened to me, or in this case, it's somebody else's story. I received an email from a woman who'd had a stillborn baby girl, and she named her Grace. And she said that now it's 10 years later, and she now has Sophie Grace, and together they sit and listen to my music to help her to recover and to explain to Sophie Grace about her little sister. So I would like to dedicate this song, which I wrote to tell that heartfelt story. This is called Grace.
Fiona, what is the piece of music that represents you?
The piece of music that represents my life is a piece I wrote called Contemplating, and it's on my Blue Dream album. And it's pretty much, if I was going to condense my whole life into 4 minutes, that would be it, contemplating. So I was lucky enough to have Luca Bloom, who's an Irish singer. He sang on it, which I feel very privileged to have because he's one of my favorite artists. And I think sometimes you just write one single piece of music that has your heart and your soul and your story in it. And that's it, it's contemplating.
Fiona, is the adventure more dangerous or is the routine more lethal?
The adventure can often be dangerous. I have a little saying, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. You know, sometimes it's great to get outside your comfort zone, go outside the square, try something new, you know, reach for the stars, live your dreams. But if you get bored along the way, that's pretty lethal. You don't want to fall into too many ruts. For me, I have to keep moving forward and I have to keep trying things and experimenting and exploring, because you never write the perfect piece of music. You're always in search of that. You're always learning. Life's a journey. You know, you don't know anything until you've learnt the next thing, and then you realize how little you know. So it is a journey, and I don't know where the goalposts are. The goalposts keep changing. Yeah, so that's another good question.
Fiona, let's move on to the third musical moment, still giving some listening ideas, and make a dedication.
This is my third piece of music, and I think everybody has suffered lost love. You haven't lived life if you haven't lost something precious. I mean, life's journey is all about, you know, loss, understanding loss and being able to cope with it, because nothing lasts forever. So I wrote this song about lost love, and it's interesting because it does in some way apply to everybody. This is called Once Upon Impossible.
Fiona, does chasing dreams for a lifetime help you stay young, or does it make you age earlier?
Chasing dreams definitely keeps you younger. I know, being a musician, all my musician friends, they all seem to be young at heart. And it's more important to be young at heart than to look young. I mean, what we look like, that's the exterior. That's not so important. But definitely chasing dreams keeps you young. It's a very childlike pursuit to chase dreams. So I think, yeah, it definitely keeps you young. My dad always said to me, if you grow up, you grow old. So I don't want to grow old. I want to keep chasing dreams. I want to keep chasing my career. I want to see how far I can take this, find out how many people are willing to listen to my music, just see how far it will go. So I'll always be chasing dreams.
Fiona, should life be judged by what is harvested or by what is planted?
I think I would say that life should be judged by what is planted, because many people do amazing things, and what comes back to them, what is harvested, is not always what they deserve. You can put out the best intentions, do the best groundwork, and do something really wonderful and really admirable, and yet very little comes back to you. So I think it's important to differentiate and to say that it's what you put out, it's what you give, that's far more important and far more valuable than what comes back. Being able to separate that and not have an expectation that the world owes you something for what you've given. That's the hard thing. That's the thing that we have to learn in life. And it's only when you can stand on your own 2 feet and you don't expect anything and you know who you are and you know what you want, that you can put out your best music or give to other people in whatever way it is that you choose and not expect anything back. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to learn, and most of us struggle with that concept, but I'm getting better at it as I get older.
Fiona, let's move on to the 4th musical moments, providing a small introduction and a dedication to embrace everyone.
For my last piece of music, I would like to embrace everybody and the world that we live in. This piece of music, when I wrote it, I was imagining being in space and looking down at our planet, looking down at Earth. And the voices that you hear are angels. There's 4 different voices. I'm singing one part, and then there's 3 other singers as well, so that you have that idea of this angelic chorus. So this is dedicated to everybody out there. We're all talking about the environment. We're talking about our future. We're talking about a lot of things that come back to caring for our planet. So this is Calling Earth.
As far as I can tell, we are live on voice. I can hear you guys look clearly. Can you hear me? I hear you loud and clear, Sally. Welcome and greeting. Apparently we don't yet have a video signal.
Dear Fiona, I thank you, I embrace you, I renew my wish to maintain your great musical sensitivity, and I greet you by asking one last question. In a year's time, in what terms do you think your life will be different? Hi, Fiona.
I would like to think that my life would be defined by what I leave behind. I mean, for all of us, it's about what we leave behind. Our children. For me, I would like to leave some music behind. I think there are two types of musician. One type is after fame and fortune. That's not me. And then the second type is trying to create and leave a legacy. And ultimately, we're all trying to create and leave a legacy. We all want to put our best foot forward, leave something that's worthwhile and of value behind. So hopefully, people in the future will be playing and listening to my music. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate being able to reach out to have an audience on the other side of the globe. Thank you.